All right, YouTube, welcome back to episode 3 of the Meathead Cookbook. And this is going to be the simplest of all of the Meathead Cookbooks, but the #1 staple in my diet, regardless of what else I'm making in the crock pot, what other fancy egg bake I got rolling, whatever the other fancy meal of the week is. Typically, when I meal prep, I'll make one fancy fun meal and then one just basic staple, which is 90-10 ground sirloin a pound. You can do regular ground beef, you can do ground bison. Sometimes I'll throw some ground bison in here, some ground elk, some ground venison, but whatever fits your budget, whatever you have access to at the grocery store, a pound of it. We're cooking it up on the stove. Again, this one's gonna be unbelievably simple, but I'm going to show you how to make like 10 to 15 meals out of this very simple just base of a meal. And if we're gonna have a Meathead Cookbook, we have to have the meathead aspect of it. So we're just throwing some butter on here. I overheated this pan a little bit because I was setting up the camera and it kind of took forever, but it's better to be over. I just dropped that butter. It just made a mess. But butter on the pan. We're opening up a ground sirloin here. Usually I make 2 pounds at a time. Today we are just making 1 pound because we are traveling on Thursday, so we're not here for the entire week. And we are throwing the beef on the pan here. Nice and simple. You're just going to cook up this meat. Again, it's not going to be anything complex. I'm going to show you how to make this into a bunch of different meals as we go, but for the people that have never made ground beef, I don't know, there's definitely high schoolers out there that have never cooked for themselves before, college guys, and maybe just to eliminate some of the nervousness that goes into cooking things you're not used to, we can kind of just show you how, and just how easy it is. Ground sirloin, when you're making it for a pound, has like 92 grams of protein per pound, right? So usually when I cook up 2 pounds, we're getting like 180 grams of protein made for the week. And then we're just gonna throw that into our meals as we go. And it's just nice to have as a base for the meal. Again, it's not gonna be every single one of your meals just because it does get a little boring and repetitive to have like the same base every time. But that's why I got this crock pot going with a fancy meal in it. So I have the crock pot for my fancy meal of the week, and then I'll have this as just our base fuel for the week. So we're going to throw the beef in there. We're going to throw this away. Then we're going to grab the seasoning. So we got some pink Himalayan salt we're going to throw on there. Typically I like to throw a little garlic salt on there, a little garlic powder. And then I got some fancy, it's like a buttery burger blend. It's like the Kinders. I don't know if you can find any variation of these, but just pick your spices. I like chili powder on there. Changing the spices helps it a lot too, just like make it taste a little different. Obviously, that's what spices are for, but I think there's a lot of dudes out there that just are not spicing and salting their beef up, and that's why it tastes like shit and not very flavorful. But once you add some spices on here and you get it tasting real good, you will never go back to the no spice life. And again, this base little simple meal can actually taste good. With the Meathead Cookbook, it's supposed to be healthy, right? It's supposed to have lots of protein. It's supposed to have gains. But I don't like eating meals that taste like shit. I like eating meals that are simple, but not that taste like shit. So none of my meals are like a fight to get down. And I think that's important when it comes to diet and nutrition. If you don't enjoy it, you just have these fucking meatheads that tell you just chicken and rice, chicken and rice, chicken and rice. It's like, okay, dude, like most people they're just not going to stick to that. It's not going to work, right? And I just think there's so many better ways to go about the diet plan, and just finding ways to make it taste better and not suck to eat. Because when it doesn't suck to eat, you can eat it. And then once you start to eat this stuff, you realize, okay, why am I going out to eat? Like, why am I spending money elsewhere when I can just spend money and make it myself and it tastes better? Like, and that's the point I'm kind of getting to with a lot of this cooking stuff is it tastes better for me to make it, and it's simpler and it's faster and it's cheaper. So I'm going to show you the spices here. Right up there, just simmering in there. We just put a shitload of spices, right? Shitload of salt on there. It's nice and money. I'm gonna come over here. I have a little bit of ADHD, and I like flipping and stirring my beef here, but I don't know if that's really recommended. But just sit in here, whipping it back and forth. It's much faster to cook. Just 1 pound on my little stove. Cooking 2 pounds on this stove takes a little bit, but this 1 pound looks like it's actually going pretty quick, which is kind of nice, especially for the video where I'm making everything quick. But I wish you could smell this right now. It smells fucking delicious. But when you're doing this, You're just trying to cook it so you don't see any made pink. Again, for the people that have never made ground beef, I've been there before, right? I've been nervous to make some ground beef when I haven't done it before in college. I think my freshman year, I think it was actually my sophomore year, maybe it was the first time like actually cooking up some ground beef. And I was like, fuck, dude, am I going to die? Am I going to get sick? Just cook it so there's no pink, okay? It's nice and simple. It's the easiest thing to cook of all time. Just getting it back and forth here. While that is cooking up, I'm going to show you the other end of this. So, I've showed these before, but just steam in the bag vegetables. This one is absolute fire. What is it called? Steam in the bag Caribbean style seasoned rice and vegetable blend. I've already opened this one up from last week. See if we can get it focused there. This one right there, I haven't tried this one before, but these are the two we're going with today. Just a bunch of frozen veggies here that you can steam. You can literally just throw them in the microwave. So this one, what's it say? Microwave on high for 4 to 5 minutes. This side sticking up. So you're just going to throw this in here, microwave on high for 4 to 5 minutes. And you just rip it here, put that in there. This one's already cooked up, so I'm just going to throw this in with the beef when it's done. And then we'll throw some rice in there as well. So typically, I just cook up the beef. I throw the beef all in one container. And then the day of, I will cook up one of these and then throw them together. I don't store them together, but I'm going to show you like the meals combined. And I got to eat some of this for dinner tonight, just so I can show you it together instead of separate there. But we'll throw in some rice as well. So just bagged rice here. You can do whatever type of rice that you want to do. But you have 45 minutes with that. You have 90 seconds with the rice. You cook all these up, and then you just put it on a platter together. Once it's on the platter together, again, I'm going to show you the finished product. Once it's all done, you can hit your sauces, right? So I'm going to throw out all these sauces here that we got. I'm going to count the salsa as a sauce because I like throwing that on there as some. What else do we got in here? This might be our main sauces for the day. So then we got our different sauces, right? So I like these Primal Kitchens. I think there's they take out a lot of bullshit. Some of them still have some bullshit in them, so you just have to look at which one that you want. I think I have like a sweet chili sauce here. I like a little salsa. Throw it in there. And then the one, it's the sin, but I mean, if you have the Chick-fil-A sauce, you're gonna love every single meal that you have. And again, I get the sauces add calories, I get the sauces add a little bit of bullshit, but I'm not dumping sauce on, right? It's just a little peck of the sauce to add a little bit of flavor. And so 90% of my meal is whole foods and delicious and really good. And then I add just a little bit of sauce on the days that I need it. And not every day do I do it. I just wanna make it taste as good as possible when you guys start this so that you guys get on this health journey, you get on the Meathead Cookbook journey. And then as you get better with this stuff, as you get better with the seasoning, as you get better with the vegetables, a lot of times I don't even throw sauces on there just because it tastes so good by itself. But if I find a veggie that it's the steamed in the bag veggie sucks that day, or something about the beef just wasn't, like the beef is dry, then those are the days that I will throw sauce on. But as I've got better at this, I've had to use the sauces less. But again, I kind of just like the sauce just for the flavor, and then add different textures to the meal, right? So I can do my Caribbean style vegetable blend with rice, okay, with the beef. So that's one meal by itself. Then I can do the same meal with the sweet chili sauce, totally different flavor. That's 2 meals. I can do the same meal with the special sauce, 3 different meals. I can do the same meal and put just salsa on there. That's 4 different meals. I can do the same meal with Chick-fil-A sauce. That's 5 different meals. And sometimes I'll just throw the honey on there as well, so that can be 6 different meals. I can do the same thing with the bagged veggies in there, and then it's a different veggie, and then you have 12 different meals. And then some meals you can use rice with, some meals you don't have to use rice with. But that's how you can make like 20 different meals with just the base ingredients of the rice, the veggies, and the beef that all taste different, right? So the macros are all gonna be the same. You're still gonna get like 30 to 40 grams of protein depending on how much beef you put in that meal. Typically 2 pounds of beef will last me like 5-ish meals, maybe 6 meals if I'm really just spreading it out. So that's like 30-ish, 40-ish grams of protein per meal there. And then with the veggies and the rice, I get a little bit of carbs in. I don't really track my carbs. My big focus is the protein. If I get my protein up, I feel better, I add muscle, and I'm looking good, right? So as my beef is cooking here, it's finishing up, I'll stop yapping and I'll kind of throw it together. There's 30 seconds left on those vegetables. I'll reheat the other bag of vegetables just to show you some finished product here. and then we will go from there. But that is how, the simplest way. Again, we will get the more complex meals, we will get the fancier meals, but this is a staple that I use every single week. Cook up a pound or 2 pounds, preferably, of ground beef, ground bison, ground elk. I really like mixing the ground bison and the ground elk together. Then you got 180 grams of protein to use. You can split it up into 30-gram portions. Every single one of your meals, the base is 30 grams of protein, which is absolute fire. And then you add in everything else to flavor to just get those 30 grams of protein down. And you do that multiple times a day, and your protein intake is going to go through the roof, and you're going to enjoy your meals a ton. This beef is almost done here. Those veggies just finished up there. And then I will throw some of this stuff on a plate for you just to show you the finished product and how simple some of this really can be. Here, I'm going to throw the rice in here for minute 30. Close that baby up. Another little tip with the beef, once you put all your seasoning on and it's right about to finish, I really like throwing on another layer of salt on the top. Just kind of spices it up and puts a little finishing touch on that beef. I really like the pink Himalayan sea salts. Dr. Tommy John psyops me into the minerals that pink Himalayan salts have, so I've been stuck on that journey, but I like the taste of it, and it makes me feel better. So finish up cooking that. I'll grab a plate here. My rice just fell down in there, and then we will make one of the meals here, and I will show you just how cool the finished product is, done in a very brief amount of time. If you do have pretty fatty, like if you're going with cheaper beef and you have fatty beef, you can drain the beef just because it will have a little bit of grease on there. If you go with lean beef, you don't really have to do it as bad, which is nice. And then it's just less fatty, has a little bit more protein in there. And again, if you're doing it right, I don't think the taste is that much different from fatty meats and non-fatty meats once you have an actual finished product. If you're just eating the beef by itself, again, it's going to not taste the best when you're just doing like 93.7. But we got the rice finished up here. Pull this out of the bag here. Throw this baby on a plate for you. Motherfucker's hot. We'll just throw some rice right there. Won't do a ton of it. I'm gonna throw some of the new veggies on. Let's see what we got in this bag. I have not tried these. It's a vegetable mélange. I don't even know how to say that. A mix of Brussels sprouts, red and yellow bell peppers, mushrooms, red onions, tossed in some olive oil. Okay, so we're gonna see what we got here. Might need a scissors here or a knife. Give me a knife. Let's stab this baby. Oh yes, these look absolute fire. Boom. Oh yeah, this is going to be a good bag. Again, some of the bags of veggies that you get are not as fire, and some of them are extra fire, and this one looks extra fire. And again, you don't need a ton of them. It's just more so for the flavor for this. And then you can spread these veggies out for the couple meals. And again, you mix up the veggies to add in different flavors for each meal so you don't get sick of it. That is my goal with all of this, not getting sick of it. And then I will throw this beef in a separate container. I will throw those veggies in a separate container, and I'll throw the rice in a separate container. And then when I want to finish up and make the meal the day of, I will just throw it all on a plate together, and then I will microwave it. But that gives you a little bit more options rather than putting it together in a Tupperware together. You can also just space out your meals there, but I like having the freedom the day of to kind of pick the veggie that I want and piecing it together. But I will show you here what the beef looks like when it's done. We got our veggies there. We got our beef finishing up here. Let me see if I can turn it on. Oh yeah, look at that. So that is when the beef is done. There's just no pink in there. This has a little bit more grease than I would like, which is kind of weird for it being ground sirloin. But I will throw some of this on the plate here, and I will show you what the finished product looks like. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Just like that. And then we will mix and match everything in here. Just like this. It's kind of like a little stir fry. I guess you could call it a little stir fry today. Oh, this is going to be freaking fire. Okay, there. And I think I'm just going to throw the special sauce on there today just to show you what I do with the sauce. right there. All right, so then this is the finished product, one of like 15 different meals that you can make with this kind of beef setup, right? And then all of that is gonna go straight into a glass Tupperware. This stuff will go into a glass Tupperware. This will go into a glass Tupperware. That will go into a glass Tupperware. And then when I want to make my separate meals for lunch or dinner, I just, again, throw them all together in the microwave, and then we end up with this beauty. This will be the, what's it called? The little thumbnail. Perfect. All right, so appreciate you guys watching. Again, always looking for new and cool recipes that you guys have. I think turning this Meathead Cookbook, again, our goal is high protein meals that are simple, not hard to cook, and easy to make for high school and college athletes. So if you have recipes that you want me to try, send them to me and I'll do them. Appreciate you guys watching. Keep chopping wood.